Hey there, LBT Squad. I'm your host, Alex Pop, and we're gearing up for The Land Before Time's 14th installment coming out this spring. In the meantime, I'm reviewing every single one of the previous 13 movies, and I'm currently at the second in the Roy Allen Smith trilogy, and the winner of the Best Home Video Presentation Award at the 1995 Annies, The Land Before Time 3, The Time of the Great Giving. Now, if you've seen my two previous reviews, or any of my videos for that matter, you know that I have a very strong connection with the original Land Before Time movie, and even a number of its sequels. I grew up with them. They have shaped me as a person. And while nostalgia still does play a big part in my opinion on them today, I'm still going to acknowledge flaws when flaws must be acknowledged. So let's get into The Land Before Time 3, The Time of the Great Giving. And once again, these are in-depth reviews, so spoiler alert. The film begins in a very similar way to the opening of the first movie, on a calm note with the same sweeping score from James Horner. The cool, wavy underwater effects and the silent ancient creatures also give the same great feel for the time and setting. However, on the flip side of these movies starting out the same way as the original, there's the fact that they all have the exact intro from the narrator on what the dinosaurs were. It gets repetitive very fast. It's like the writers just assume that the movie that they're currently working on is going to be the first in the series that their audience is viewing. But they're likely to see more, so no matter what the order, it's eventually going to get tiresome. So in this movie, the lives of Littlefoot, Sarah, Petrie, Ducky, and Spike in the Great Valley have become a bit more unpleasant because they're constantly being harassed by a trio of adolescent dinosaurs, a Hypsilophodon named Hip, a Nodosaurus named Nod, and a Muttaburrasaurus named Mutt. Yeah, way to be subtle with the names. Kind of like you were with Tyranno the Pteranodon. As for the bullies themselves, Hip, the leader of the trio, isn't just a one-dimensional plot device. He does have some development that explains why he is the way he is, which I'll get to later in the review. And it cracks me up how Nod and Mutt just blindly agree with his every word, when at the same time, they're no more sophisticated than the kids that they're bullying. Why you want to fight? Fighting hurt. Hey, that's right. It does give you owies, Hip. Why do we do it? They also have a song titled When You're Big, which has a very enjoyable jazz beat, although the lyrics... Well, here's the thing. They're singing about all the things that one can do as an adult, like splash in all the puddles, and snort, growl, stomp, and howl. And I have to think, exactly how many big people would want to do half this stuff? So shortly after the movie opens, a meteor shower strikes just outside of the Great Valley, causing an explosion in the mysterious beyond. Fortunately, no one is severely injured. But the next day, the dinosaurs wake up to find the Thundering Falls, the source of water in the Great Valley, drying up. The increasing lack of water causes conflict between the adults. Considering his species the wisest and even singing a whole song about it, another song with fun instrumentals but subpar lyrics, Sarah's dad insists that he make the drinking arrangements. He becomes so conceited that he gets unreasonable. It gets to the point where he accuses Littlefoot of wasting water when he gets sprayed by a splash caused by the bullies, who hightail it out of there not to be noticed. Despite the fact that the water problem was news to the gang, Sarah's dad accuses Littlefoot of being a bad influence and forbids Sarah to be around him. I don't like you, Sarah's dad. To bring an end to all the bickering, the kids set out through the Great Valley to find extra water deposits. And when they get together for the trip, the movie starts to drag a bit because they just start talking about stuff, like how they're going to smell for the water, or who screams the worst. No competition, Sarah wins. It's some scenes like this that only serve to make the movie 70 minutes long instead of 60, and you're just like, okay, we get it, move along. So they eventually come to a tall viewpoint overlooking the mysterious beyond, and they see from afar that a rock slide caused by the meteor shower is blocking off the water supply. On their way back home, a tree is struck by lightning, igniting a wildfire, which spreads as unrealistically rapidly as any other forest fire in animated movies. Still, this is a visually dazzling sequence. The movement of the fire, as well as the light that it casts on the characters who are near it, are the most strikingly detailed bits of animation in the movie. And Michael Tavera's score in this scene has an appropriately alarming sound to it. The Great Valley residents manage to escape the fire and gather on the valley border. When Littlefoot and his friends announce their discovery of the water blockage, it only leads to further bickering amongst the adults on how to set the water flowing again. And the funny thing is, the dialogue between Littlefoot and his friends is very believable, but that same kid-level dialogue seems to be applied to the adult characters when they're arguing. I have a plan. Mine's better. No, listen to mine. Yours, don't be ridiculous. Because this is how adults argue, right? To be fair, at least they're not trying to show that adults are so helpless and argumentative that they need to go to their children for the solution, as later we do see the grown-ups all arrive in the mysterious beyond with a plan to free the water. But before that happens, the gang watch Hip, Nod, and Mutt set out into the mysterious beyond to get the water themselves. Sarah's delighted to see them go get into danger, while Littlefoot feels sympathy towards them. He explains to the others through the most meaningful song in the movie, Kids Like Us, that they are equal to them. And not only that, but after going after them and saving Hip from a tar pit, the adults then show up, and Hip gets chastised by his dad. It's implied here that Hip's motivation to bully others is caused by his dad's own harsh treatment toward his son. I have to give the movie major credit for these scenes, because a lot of movies, especially kids' movies, tend to not bother humanizing the bully character, and he's often just there as a plot device. This movie avoids that tendency to show kids that bullies are still people, and to adults why bullying can sometimes occur. And as a family movie, that earns it a lot of points. So before the dinosaurs can move forward with their plan, they're attacked by a pack of velociraptors, and we get some very good fight scenes where the dinosaurs fight tooth and tail, and Littlefoot and Hip's gangs join sides to help out, and landslides ensuing from all the chaos. And I'll tell you, I almost never got really excited by disastrous close calls in movies when I was a kid. There are some close calls in this sequence where I jumped the first 2 times that I watched it. As Littlefoot and the others drop boulders on the raptors, they inadvertently release the water from its enclosure, and it flows back into the Great Valley, sweeping the raptors along with it, and it douses the fire that's still going in the valley. Pretty convenient that the fire would only be in the riverbeds at that exact point, but whatever. Hip, Nod, and Mutt are reformed and are now friends with Littlefoot and the gang, but the Great Valley dinosaurs return to find a large percentage of the valley destroyed. But they work together to survive the time by divvying up the remaining plants among each other, and as the narrator says, they learn the special kind of joy that only comes from giving to others. You just had to drive home that message, didn't you, Mr. Narrator? This time is eventually looked back on as the time of the Great Giving. And on top of the movie beginning with the same opening James Horner piece that started the first movie, it also concludes with the same musical piece, which I really appreciated. The film ends with a shot of Littlefoot and his friends standing by the river as the trees around them start to green up again. This movie is better than The Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure, because while that movie had a message that was exclusively kid-oriented, this movie's themes involve both kids and adults, which earns it extra props. It is occasionally preachy, and there is some tedious filler, and the songs are a mixed bag, but it's got good action, beautiful animation, and a great balance of the old and the new musical score. Plus some moments with Littlefoot and the gang where I think, yeah, that's what I love about you guys. In the end, this is a very good family movie, and I'm going to give The Land Before Time 3, The Time of the Great Giving, a B+. Now let's go to 3 comment reviews from LBT Squad members. Christy Carricker said, The Time of the Great Giving had some good lessons, and it was a nice story, but Hip and the bullies were just so obnoxious and dumb that I had a hard time not cringing, even as a kid. That makes it kind of hard for me to rate it, but I think I'd give it a C. Hero Clash Kawapa said, I enjoyed The Time of the Great Giving. The songs were fine, I think that there were not that many problems, the pacing was fine, and the ending was cool. For me, it was not as good as the second one, but still great without a doubt. I think I would give it a B+. And Diamond Dog 24 said, I love the film's themes of friendship, courage, and love between the friends and the families. The one problem I have with this film is that some of the film's dialogue has some modernisms in it, but overall a great film. I give The Land Before Time 3 an A+++. Only one plus is necessary. Most of you were pretty enthusiastic about this movie, and the 8 grades submitted by you guys average out to an A-. You thought it was excellent. 3 down and 10 to go. Stick around very soon for my review on the next installment, The Land Before Time 4 Journey Through the Mist. I've certainly got some things to say about this one. To share your opinion on this movie, leave a review as well as your letter grade in the comments below, and have them featured in the video. That's a wrap for now. If you liked this and you want to see more, slap the like button, subscribe for future videos, and follow us on Facebook. Thanks for watching. I'm your host, Alex Pop. Catch you later.